Well, hello, everyone. Hello. This is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. You are all in tonight with me, Alexandra Levine. I just want to wish everybody a happy new year. As I said, I was going on vacation for a couple weeks, but now we're starting off live and we're starting the year fresh. But of course, we can't have a fresh new year without fresh new drama. Breaking news. Let's put up the first slide. So Vice President J.D. Vance had a suspect arrested at his Cincinnati home in Ohio just a couple days ago. The suspect was arrested after a break-in at the Vice President's J.D. Vance's Cincinnati home. Now, thank God that J.D. Vance and his family weren't there. And isn't it interesting? You get these idiots that want to cause havoc, that want to start drama, that want to come to politicians' homes, sometimes when they're there, but the majority when they're not there. I mean, these guys are total, complete cowards. It's unbelievable. They knew that the vice president and his family wasn't going to be there, but they wanted to start havoc and they wanted to start more drama for the new year. And this is the suspect in custody that broke into J.D. Vance's Cincinnati home. Suspect identified. Another trans authorities released the mugshot of a 26-year-old William DeFore, who was accused of vandalizing Vice President J.D. Vance's Cincinnati area home. He claims his name is Julia and he is trans. Again, the trans movement is a very small movement, but the trans movement has been compiled of these young idiots that are bought and paid for by George Soros and others. Again, it's the minority trying to be the majority. Why did this person think it was cool to do this? What was the motive? I mean, we all know what the motive is. But also the question is, how much was he paid to do this? As in, George Soros pays these groups and these people a lot of money to cause havoc. But again, this was at the vice president's home in Cincinnati. This young trans boy, girl, it's really a boy, decided to do something heinous and not think that he was going to get away with it. Now, I hope that the people in Ohio, they prosecute this person to the umpth degree of the law and keep him in jail for a long time. But again, why are we back here? It's a new year. Why is the trans community, why is BLM, why is these crazy organizations and groups, the pro-Hamas morons, why are they starting havoc again in 2026? And they're threatening our vice president now, just like they've threatened the president, just like they've threatened many people in the administration, such as Thomas Homan and Kristi Noem and many others. I mean, do they really think this is cute? Do they really think that if they continue to do this, that nothing is going to happen to them, that they won't be held accountable? Again, this is not an Obama-Biden administration. This is the Trump administration with tougher people and tougher attorneys that will get down to the bottom of the bullshit and really hone in on people breaking the law. And this 26-year-old Pishika, as we say in Yiddish, a young kid that pisses, he automatically broke the law. But again, how many more trans people do we have to arrest for them to get the message through that they're irrelevant, that they're stupid, that they're demented, that they're deranged, that it's an illness, it's a mental illness, and the Trump administration is not going to put up with it? So I have no sympathy for this trans guy, the trans community, not one sympathetic feeling at all. You, my audience, and others shouldn't feel sympathy for them either. This kid knew exactly what he was doing. He's getting bought and paid for to do this. And if there's more trans people or any other idiots that are getting bought and paid for to do this, they will be held accountable and they will be going to jail and then some. But it's very important, guys. It's very important to understand that the more these trans people and these delinquents try to hurt our nation, it just hurts them. It doesn't help their image. It hurts their image. And we have to keep calling it out. We have to keep calling the enemy out every single day. And yes, it is a new year, but again, new year, unfortunately, for the left, for the liberals, for the left-leaning, the left-wing lunatics, as President Trump calls them, they like to start more drama and more havoc for President Trump. Now, also in breaking news, we had a death today. Let's put up that slide. Very sad. Michael Reagan, who was the adopted son of President Ronald Reagan, he died at 80 years old today, January 4th, 2 days ago. He was an advocate for President Trump. He was a hardcore Trump supporter, unlike his brother, Ronald Reagan Jr., who was a total never-Trumper narcissist. We thank Michael Reagan for his service. He did a lot in the years that his father was alive. And also when his father died, he honored him heavily and honored his mother. And we honor people like this. You have a lot of politicians' sons and daughters. Some of them see the right side of the wall. Some of them see the wrong side of the wall. Also in breaking news, stupid Angelina Jolie was taking pictures of a documentary she was doing about Gaza in support of Hamas, in support of October 7th. And she was taking pictures about it, about the creation, the readaptation of October 7th, but not in the way of history, in the way that the Palestinians were the ones that were the victims. But contrast that with her father, John Voight, who's an advocate and hardcore Trump supporter, who loves this country, who spoke wonderfully about Donald Trump, who continues with video after video about how we need to support and back the president. I guess the saying, you can't win them all, really is prevalent here, irrelevant here. I remember my father meeting John Voight when President Trump was first inaugurated in 2016. And my father said to him, I'm so sorry about the divorce of your daughter. And I'm sorry about our politics. And John Voight got into the divorce and how it hurt Angelina Jolie because she had kids, adopted children with Brad Pitt, and they had biological children together as well. But my father said a comment to John Voight, which was very interesting. My father said, your children always come back to you, don't they? In the end, despite everything, despite the contrast of your politics, despite the contrast of everything, they still come back to you in the end. And John Voight said, you're right. He said, I will take care of my child, whether she supports my politics or not, whether she supports me or not. Because at the end of the day, you don't divorce your children. You divorce husbands, you divorce wives, you don't divorce your children. You don't divorce your family. But it's very sad to see Angelina Jolie take this stance in support of Hamas, in support of October 7th. And then you have our wonderful father, who's a big supporter of Israel and the Jewish people, loves Israel, has gone to Israel, supports President Trump. But at the end of the day, he still loves his daughter, even though I think he knows in the back of his mind, she's crazy. She's a lunatic. And he may never be able to change her mind. But at the end of the day, she will always go back to him. She will always love him. Because at the end of the day, you always need your parents. It's the same thing with Candace Owens and her craziness. Candace Owens' father-in-law is a very pro-Israel, pro-Trump guy. But Candace Owens and her husband are anti-Semites, narcissists, conspiracy theorists, crazy people, ignorant, and stupid. And her poor father-in-law had to actually apologize for her comments because they were just so heinous. And she continues to spew anti-Semitic comments every single day. But her father-in-law doesn't hate her. Her father-in-law doesn't hate his son. At the end of the day, he still loves his child and his daughter-in-law. But the job of a grandfather is now to protect his grandchildren. Candace Owens had 4 children with her husband. There's nothing like being a grandfather. If you're a grandfather, you understand this, you know. It's different to raise your grandchildren than your child. And sometimes your child gets lost in all of the chaos and the mix. But if you can save the next generation, if you could save your grandchildren from craziness, then by golly, grandparents will do everything and anything they can to protect their grandchildren. I've seen it firsthand. I know it. And again, there's a different dynamic and relationship between a father and a daughter and a father and their grandchild. It's just a very different dynamic. But again, we're dealing with these crazies. Same issue with RFK Jr.'s family. Majority of his family hated him because he supported Trump, he endorsed Trump, he switched parties. He's got crazy relatives that are hardcore leftist, lunatic Democrats that don't support anything JFK ever did. And they hate RFK Jr. because he's actually trying to save this country, make America healthy again. It's gotten so bad to the point that RFK Jr.'s wife, Cheryl Hines, has had to come out and thoroughly defend her husband. And she wasn't so pro-Trump in the beginning. But she understands it now. She understands the ridicule. She understands the harassment. And she can't believe that her husband's in-laws turned on her too. She can't understand why her husband's family turned on him. Just because he didn't see the right way to her in-laws. Just because he was a Democrat and became an independent and supported and backed Trump. Just because he works in the Trump administration now. They turned on him. They think he's a wackadoo. So instead, Cheryl Hines has created another family. She's very close now with the spouses, the wives of the other cabinet members. And that's important. So what someone's losses is another person's gain. So she lost the love of her in-laws, but she gained the love of President Trump and the Trump administration and that family and the Trump supporters. Our family. So my question to my viewers is, do you have people in your family that support Trump, that don't support Trump? Has it broken your family? Has it ripped your family apart? I know a lot of people have gotten divorced because of their support for Donald Trump. One spouse loves Donald Trump more than the other. Is it worth it? Is it worth it to break up your family over President Trump? Is it worth it to shun your family away just because you don't believe in the same values that they do? That's craziness to me. It's completely asinine. I don't understand it. And again, I hope that changes. I feel like that changed on November of 2024. When the majority of the American people, Democrats, independents alike, they went into that ballot box and they said, we've hashtag had enough of socialism. We've hashtag had enough of Biden and Obama, and we are going to take a stand. And we're going to vote the right man in because he was wrongfully accused. And he actually really gives a crap about this country. And we don't like the way that the country is headed. We're scared. So they voted the right way. And I thank the American people for that. I thank the American people for stepping up and voting the correct way. But the truth is, if we divide and we rip our families apart over politics, you can't get back from that. You can never really fully recover from that. That's why it's really important. It's really important that we remember ourselves, remember our values, stick to your principles, stick to your values, have faith in God, be a spiritual person, and good things will happen to you. Now going into segment 1. Segment 1, we had some major breaking news this weekend. The fall of Maduro, the big communist dictator from Venezuela. As you know, Maduro was dancing around and doing music videos and telling President Trump to come get me. Let's see if you can come get me. Come on, President Trump, come on. So President Trump said, this guy wants me to get him. I'm going to go get him. And he did. He captured his butt, took him to Brooklyn, New York, took him to New York. Actually, not Brooklyn. I'm sorry, New York City, outside New York City, where he's being held right now in custody. Now, of course, Maduro pleaded not guilty for his crimes against humanity, for being a proponent of pushing narco-terrorists to America, fentanyl and other drugs across this country and many others, for pushing illegals into America, working with the drug cartels. I mean, this guy's a huge criminal, and his wife was involved in all of this crap too. Oh, they said his wife is not well because she was bruised and hurt by the police and all that crap. No, that's BS. That's BS. The truth is that Mr. Maduro is a vicious dictator, vicious communist. He actually continued to cheat his elections every single time. He never should have won the last time. The people of Venezuela were sickened that he won. They were so sickened to the point that the police actually turned on Maduro and were supporting the people that voted against Maduro. And the vice president, the woman who got the Nobel Peace Prize, they're hoping that she'll step it up, that she's not going to be like Maduro, that she's going to do a good job. But there's been no signs of real regime change. The victory would be if we have real regime change, if Venezuela turns into Argentina. That is the ultimate goal. We can't have these socialist dictators continue to dictate their countries, cause havoc on their civilians, on their people. We just can't have it. It's a real problem. And my question is, did the American people really think that Maduro would get away with this? That he would just be sitting high and dancing and mocking President Trump and not get arrested? And my question to my audience is, do you think anything's going to happen? Do you think he's going to be found guilty? Do you think they're going to do anything? Or do you think they're just going to poo-poo this? Do you think they just capture him just to say, look, we got you because you said we couldn't get you? What's the real underlying meaning of all of this? A lot of people I've talked to said nothing's going to happen. Trump just went in there to prove a point. But they're just sitting on it right now. People said it's about the oil. There's a lot of oil in Venezuela. A lot at stake here. People are very proud of Secretary of State Marco Rubio, the best Secretary of State we've ever had. Because he worked with President Trump. He worked with the people in Venezuela to get Maduro. There was a lot of people involved with the capturing of this, including Pete Hegseth. The military worked wholeheartedly with President Trump to get Maduro. Because remember, people were upset that Pete Hegseth went in there and was arresting all the narco terrorists and saying we can't have narco terrorists coming into our country. Turn the boats back, arrest these people. And people called him a killer for that, and a Nazi, and a Hitler. Who's the real Nazi? Who's the real Hitler? My question to the anti-Semites on social media: do you support Maduro or do you support Pete Hegseth? Who do you think is the real Nazi, Pete Hegseth or Maduro? Because if you don't know the difference, it's a shame. They say ignorance is bliss. But I really want to know. I really want to know from my audience. Who do you think is the real problem here? Who did the right thing? Who did the wrong thing? And what do you guys think should happen to Maduro? Another question for my audience. What do you guys think should happen? Or do you think nothing will happen? Like I said, a lot of people think nothing will happen. Yeah, Donald Willinger, thank you, my friend. Before it's over, Putin will be in Hague and Colombia's president will be here. He also said the majority of Americans voted for Trump. Trump is doing his damnedest to do his best. I agree. Don Willinger said to execute Maduro. I agree with that too. So we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes 100%. They won't tell reporters what's really going on because they don't want their strategies to be revealed. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's smart. But it's really important. It's really important that the American people realize who are the bad people. The fact that you see people like Mamdani and AOC and Ilhan Omar bitching, Chris Van Hollen saying that Maduro shouldn't have been arrested. These guys are communists and socialists. Anyone that stands with the communists and socialists is a communist and socialist themselves. You think that if you support Maduro and hang out with him, all of a sudden your dreams will come true? Unless you're working with him yourself. It's really sick and it's sad. It's sick and it's sad. I really hope the American people wake up and realize to stand in support of a communist and a terrorist is the most horrible thing to do. And let's show the second slide. This talks about Secretary of State Marco Rubio and what he did. So the raid in Venezuela to get Maduro was law enforcement operation. Actually, Pam Bondi said this, Attorney General. The raid in Venezuela to arrest Nicolas Maduro was, quote, a law enforcement operation and well within the president's article to powers. Two powers, excuse me. Attorney General Pam Bondi said in an interview with Sean Hannity. Bondi's comments come as President Trump has said the U.S. is going to run the country. Trump on Sunday night doubled down on his assertion the U.S. was, quote, in charge of the South American nation. Excuse me, after first proclaiming on Saturday the U.S. would, quote, run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition, unquote. Pam Bondi said the operation was, quote, flawless, and that Maduro and his wife are charged with directing the murders, that's killing innocent Americans, kidnappings, assaults of anyone who stood in their own way or in their way, and also anyone who tried to stop their drug business, as I said earlier. They're also charged with bringing tons of drugs into this country, as I said earlier. So this is why there had to be a raid. This is why we had to get Maduro. He killed innocent Americans. He threw tons of drugs into this country. He directed murders and kidnappings and assault of anyone who stood in their way, and also tried to stop stopped anyone who tried to stop their drug business, which means they stopped people that were not breaking the law. I mean, these people are guilty of sin. So America is just supposed to sit there and allow this to continue? No. They went out there and they did the job. Joe Biden's administration said they were going to do the job. BS. They had no intention. That stupid press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, kept telling everyone, oh, yeah, Joe Biden's going to crack down on Maduro. You'll watch. Just like frickin' Obama lied to all of us and said that he was going to take care of Bashar al-Assad, who took care of him. Vladimir Putin did. So, I mean, this is all BS, guys. This is all BS from the left. What the Trump administration did was very epic, and we all should thank him for it, and he should get a Nobel Peace Prize for this. But let's show the second slide about Secretary of State. Nope, next one. We already did that one. That was supposed to be, there we go. There we go, that's the one. Secretary of State Marco Rubio vowed to eliminate Hezbollah, which is a terrorist organization based out of Lebanon, and Iranian-backed operations from Venezuela following the capture of Nicolas Maduro. The Trump administration will not allow terror groups or hostile regimes to operate in the Western Hemisphere. And that's something that Charlie Kirk talked about. Well, he said that the Islamic regime is what is the most dangerous to the Western Hemisphere. That means Hezbollah, Hamas, Al-Aqsa Smarter Brigade, the Taliban, Islamic Jihad. All of those are interconnected with the drug cartels. Don't think that they're not. It's just one person's more heinous than the other. But the drug cartels are the ones that killed innocent women and children and pushed fentanyl and other dangerous drugs onto young people. And they were the ones that committed the sex trafficking, the human trafficking, the child trafficking. It's all interconnected. I told you, the Biden administration and Obama brought in illegal refugees into this country, terrorist regimes into this country. Nobody wanted to believe it. I already knew it. I already predicted it. It was already been told. It was already the Mossad, the Israeli FBI and CIA, whether you like them or not, it's stupid not to like them because they protect Americans, actually. They don't kill innocent Americans. They didn't kill Charlie Kirk, which was a lie by Candace Owens. The Mossad is here to protect American citizens, as well as American Jews and Christian Zionists in this country and many other countries worldwide. The Mossad warned the United States and warned the Biden administration of illegal terrorists coming into America. And the Biden administration, because they're anti-Jew Jews that work there, and they're all anti-Semitic, they didn't give a damn. You had Anthony Blinken, anti-Jew Jew, Mayorkas, anti-Jew Jew, Merrick Garland, anti-Jew Jew. You had a lot of anti-Jew Jews working in the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, the ODNI, that caused a lot of havoc for our country. And Trump and his administration do everything they can to rid the big agencies of the anti-Semitism and the bullshit. Haven't you hashtag had enough of being lied to? Haven't you hashtag had enough of the drug cartels and these terrorist regimes in your state, in your city, in your district? People have to carry everywhere now. I've gone to private events, especially private Jewish events. They always advise me to carry, because one security guard at a function of 100 or more is not enough. You have to take matters into your own hands. You have to protect yourself. Yeah. I do remember Biden asking to buy oil from Iran. Of course. It's so sick. And Biden was a freaking vegetable. Didn't even know what he was talking about. But this is very important, guys. It's very important that we understand the depths of this. We should be applauding and congratulating President Trump, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and Pam Bondi for the wonderful work that they did, and Kash Patel, to bring these people to justice. And Dan Bongino, as you know, he resigned from his last day at the FBI. He was the deputy FBI director. This was his last thing before he left. And he was enthralled with the narco terror, with getting out information about the narco terrorists and so forth, and the corruption going on at the agencies, and the corruption going on across the country and the world. So good job to Dan Bongino. I wish he wouldn't have left, but I know the transition was very hard for his family. I know he missed his family a lot. He took a huge salary cut, and now he's going back to civilian life, going back on radio. He's going to make millions of dollars again, and he'll have his wife with him all the time, and things will be better for him. Some people, they go into the bureau and it's very hard for them. They see things that they don't want to see, or they're waiting for things to happen and nothing is budging and they're getting impatient. But I know that his wife really missed him. I know that they took a significant cut in their housing and in their businesses in Florida, because the houses that they have cost a lot of money. And with an FBI salary or a government salary, it's tough. It's tough to keep up the lifestyle. It really is tough. So I applaud Dan Bongino for the work that he did. And I'm excited to hear what he can divulge or tell to the American people once he gets back on radio and doing podcast. I wouldn't say radio. I think he's doing podcasts again. But again, for Fair and Balanced News, don't forget to follow us, America's Pulse Network, and my show, Alexandra Levine Live. But we are all over the place. We're on Facebook now. We're on YouTube. We're on X. We're on Rumble. We're on True Social. We're on Instagram. We're on Parler. We're on like 7 or 8 social media websites. Please like and subscribe to us at America's Pulse Network. It's very important. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my show, Alexandra Levine Live. Well, before we go into our break, don't forget to go to rncstore.com. That's my affiliate sponsor, rncstore.com/ALL. That is Richardson Nutritional Center. If you don't put in ALL, you do not get the 10% off discount. I know a lot of people purchased his products during Christmas and New Year's. Now Christmas and New Year's is over. We're all heavy again because we've eaten ham, turkey, brisket, whatever you ate during the holidays. Excuse me. Now it's time. It's your new year to get back into your original figure, your original size. I know that I've been kind of slacking off on the working out because I've been traveling so much. But guys, go to rncstore.com/ALL, type in ALL, get the 10% off discount, enjoy your life, get your immunity system. Flu is on the rise. Every other person I know has influenza A, B, and C. I know like my relatives are not well. Like everybody is, just very, very, very sick. That's a good question. When am I having Mr. Richardson back on the show? So Mr. Richardson is actually, he has been broadcasting and doing a lot of tours across the country for his books and for his supplements. So he's actually taking a hiatus from being on any podcasts and any networks because he's focusing on himself right now. But he's still my affiliate sponsor. We will continue to promote him. We will continue to use him and use his products and advertise for his products. But yeah, he is focusing on himself right now. And when he is done with the tour, we will definitely be in touch with him again and he will be back on our show. But thank you for that question. That was a very good question. But please, guys, stay with us. We will be right back after the break.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did.
Well, thank you guys for being with me. This is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. Thank you so much for the people that have been commenting on my show. I know there's a lot of people that do watch my show that don't comment. I appreciate your comments. And again, don't forget to like and subscribe to the America's Pulse Network. Now we're on Facebook, we're on Rumble, we're on True Social, we're on Parler, we're on TikTok, we are on Instagram, X, and like basically all the main, YouTube, if I missed any, forgive me, we're on so many, but we're on the main social media outlets. So please stay with us. So that idiot communist socialist bastard, Mr. Zohran Mamdani, he was officially sworn in as the new New York City mayor. And now we're seeing all of the horrendous cabinet members that he is implementing or nominating on his transition team, they started on his transition team. Now that he's elected, now he is getting ready to push these nominees through. And unfortunately, because New York is a Democrat state, all his liberal ass, left wing, pro Hamas people, pro LGBTQ trans people are going to get in. There was one anti-Semitic moron, biatch, which he was trying to push through. He nominated her, and because of her anti-Semitic comments, she withdrew. And it's only because of the pushback that she got, or the pushback he got, I'm sorry, for nominating her. And she got a lot of pushback too for her comments. So again, New York City is no longer going to be New York City. You're already starting to see everything rise. Your oil prices are rising. The cost of living is rising. And remember when Zohran Mamdani screamed on the campaign trail that bus rides were going to be free grocery stores, everything was going to be free, free, free. Well, it turns out, as we know, he was a liar. Now the bus fare is up. The groceries are up. Nothing is free. Again, that's how communists and socialists get you. They say, oh, this is going to be free. This is going to be free. Everything's going to be free. Free bus rides, free everything, free diapers, free baby formula. Everything in life is going to be free. Just vote for me. That's their tagline. Everything in life will be free if you vote for me. Great tagline, right? Yeah, it's true. Many upper class people are moving out of the city. Police officers are leaving. And there was people that left even after he won, before the inauguration, because they're like, we're not staying in New York for this crap. So again, the average person in New York City can't afford what's going on there now. And it's always rob from the rich, give to the poor. But the poor in New York City, they can't afford the bus ride. They can't afford groceries. So how is he supposed to help all these people, including the poor, including all of these voters that voted for him, when he's not only increasing everything for the upper class, but he's increasing everything for the lower class? So again, this is what's happening in New York City. In New York City, they have something called a call to prayer. Usually Muslims, they pray like 5 times a day. So New York City is turned into like an Islamic country now. You don't even recognize it. Me as a Jewish person, I would never go to New York City, not even for an audition, not even for a concert. I would have to do it in Long Island or someplace outside of New York City, because as a Jew, I wouldn't feel safe being in New York City. And as you know, the gun laws in New York City, especially with Mr. Mamdani, they're going to be non-existent. They're going to be non-existent. If you're a gun holder, forget it. If you're a gun owner, forget it. And anybody who practices Judaism or any religion outside of Islam is considered the enemy. So going to synagogue, going to church in New York City, you won't be safe doing it. You won't feel good going to your synagogue, going to your church and practicing. If you don't bow down to Islamic terrorists, the Islamic regime in New York City, you can forget it. And the majority of the people that Mamdani is nominating are all Islamics, all people that hate America, people that talk about white supremacy, people that believe in CRT, gender identity, transphobia, all this crap, all this stuff that we Americans in 2024 voted against because we have Donald Trump in there now. So what is the future for New York City? People say that New York will get so bad that the people won't have any choice but to vote Republican in 2026. They're pushing for a Republican governor. They're pushing for more Republican congressmen and women. As you know, Elise Stefanik, she was running for governor of New York and she decided to step down, and she's not running for re-election for her congressional seat. So now that's in jeopardy. Hopefully that district is Republican enough so that it doesn't flip. But we've been seeing a lot of massive flips. We've been seeing a lot of these Republican seats get or become open due to either deaths or people stepping down. And again, we have a very small majority in the House of Representatives. We do not want the House to flip Democrat. We do not want a Hakeem Jeffries as your Speaker of the House. We won't get anything done. And that's what happened to President Trump in his first term. He had Congress and the Senate for the first 2 years, and then Congress and the Senate, House of Representatives and Senate flipped, and he couldn't really get anything done. So my question to New Yorkers is, what are you going to do? Are you going to leave? Are you going to switch parties to Democrat and try to get a moderate Democrat back in there? A lot of my friends have said we need a revival of the moderate Democrat Party. We need moderate Democrats in there to revive the Democrat Party. But then I see a lot of moderate Democrats that are flipping Republican, that are changing their party or supporting hardcore conservatives. I see that in Maryland, Virginia, and other places. As you know, I'm a big proponent of primarying out a socialist, primarying out a hardcore leftist. I say to AIPAC, where are you? Why are you sleeping behind the wheel? AIPAC is notorious for primarying out hardcore socialist left-wing lunatics, like people that are part of the squad. Is AIPAC going to step it up and get people like Chris Van Hollen out of office and other left-wing lunatics like Ilhan Omar and AOC and Rashid Tlaib and Ayanna Pressler? AIPAC needs to really wake up here. And people are like, oh, it's AIPAC, liberal Jewish money. Yeah, they have money. I admit they have money, but they get the job done. Whether you like them or not, I think people attack them because it's a Jewish organization. But at the end of the day, they get the job done. Don't hate on people that you don't know anything about, and don't hate on people that get the job done. I know they can get the job done. But nobody should be surprised in New York City that you have this left-wing lunatic who lied. And he went to the Oval Office. He called President Trump. He says, I want a meeting. And President Trump, he was like, look, I talked to the guy. I told him this is what I want. If New York City turns to hell, it's not because of me. It's because of him. He'll take it's Zohran Mamdani's blame, not President Trump. President Trump was very cordial to the guy. Everyone's like, why is President Trump acting buddy-buddy? Nobody understands President Trump. Nobody understands he's a great chess player. He let the guy hang himself at the press conference. Hang himself. I mean, Mamdani said horrible things about Trump. And Trump said, he can admit it. He can admit I'm a horrible person. Yes, he can admit it. And again, what did Mamdani do this week? He supported Maduro. He attacked President Trump for arresting him. And again, why would anybody support a Maduro? What's in it for them? Oh, I know. Drug money's involved. Terrorist money's involved. Zohran Mamdani supports the terrorists and the terrorist regime. And he supports AOC and Ilhan Omar, Rashid Tlaib and the squad. And he's very pro-Hamas. And he is so against ICE. He hates ICE. He hates Thomas Homan. Then when he got elected, he went on his rants against ICE. Even though the moron has security detail for himself, which is a joke. So again, if you're a New Yorker, what do you do? A lot of people say leaving is a form of weakness. But if I stay, I'm going to be dealing with a lot of high taxes and anti-Semitism and a lot of BS. There's nothing wrong with leaving. There's nothing wrong with leaving. Not at all. I mean, there's questions if Mamdani even got his citizenship here legally. I question it. He needs to go back to Uganda as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, maybe Mamdani can run for governor in Minnesota. He'll try. Horrible. But let's pull up this slide. This is one person that Mamdani is nominating to take over. So this person, meet CEA or Sia Weaver, the new tenant advocate in Mayor Mamdani's communist administration. In the past, she's advocated for the seizure of private property, and she once branded home ownership as, quote, white supremacy. And this is a white woman. New York City may fall completely to the socialists faster than Venezuela did. And I agree. I completely agree. But again, I have no sympathy for the people of New York. I have no sympathy. I blame a lot of people for voting for Mamdani in the primary. They didn't do their research or they didn't care. And then push comes to shove, you had, look who we had as choices. We had Silva, we had Cuomo. Both of them are avid Trump haters. Eric Adams, he came around and started supporting Trump, but he didn't have enough support to really win the race. I applaud the Jewish people for voting for Cuomo in the general. A lot of them did. I think it was like 66% of the Jews voted for Cuomo over Mamdani. Thank God, Baruch Hashem. But it wasn't enough. The Jews were the ones that voted for Mamdani in the primary and put him in there. That's why it's very important, guys, that we vet who is in office. We have to heavily vet them. And remember, politics is local. This idiot could run for governor of New York. This idiot could run for Congress, for Senate. They don't just go away. These people do not go away. And yeah, that is a very good question by Don Willinger. He said, my greatest fear is who will be our next president? And will that person continue the work President Trump has started? I ask myself the same question because I love President Trump. I would love to keep him in there for a long time. A lot of people said his children would be great because they can implement his agenda. But then people say his children would not be good. Some people say his children are compromised. I've heard that crap, that rumor. A lot of people are not liking J.D. Vance, especially the Jewish community, because of some comments that he said and some of his principles and values. And they don't like his friendship with Tucker Carlson. And that Tucker Carlson's son works under him. I love Marco Rubio. I think he would be a great addition. A lot of people have talked about my governor, Ron DeSantis in Florida, not running for president again, but being the VP. But again, it's too soon. It's too early. But I posed the question to my audience. Would they like a J.D. Vance as president, or would they prefer Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, or Ron DeSantis? Or would they prefer a Rubio Vance ticket, or a Vance Rubio ticket, or a Rubio Pete Hegseth ticket? What ticket would you guys support? I want to know, because again, we're all hearing about a Vance Rubio ticket, but Marco Rubio has done a very good job. He's very supportive of Israel and the Jewish people, and he's doing like 50 million different roles. There's a meme going out now that he's going to be the next president of Venezuela, the president of Greenland, the president of China. Like, he's just taking over everything because he's kicking butt. He's really doing a phenomenal job, much better than I thought he could ever do. I'm not going to say I had little faith in the guy, but a lot of people are very skeptical of him. But he is doing a phenomenal job. I like him a lot. I like Ted Cruz a lot too. I support anyone that wholeheartedly supports Israel and will put Israel's, that will stand shoulder to shoulder with Israel and support our biggest ally. And when I hear things that what J.D. Vance has said about Israel, it really makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. It really does. And, what he said at Turning Point, I know he was trying to be the unifier and unify everyone and say, Ben Shapiro shouldn't be attacking this person. That person should not be attacking, and da-da-da-da. I disagreed with what he said because it's freedom of speech. And Ben Shapiro didn't really attack anybody. He went after Candace a little bit, but he told the truth and called people out. And then instead of Steve Bannon and others talking about Turning Point, their speech was about attacking Ben Shapiro. Same thing with Megyn Kelly, because Steve Bannon and Megyn Kelly know that Ben Shapiro is right, and he does have a mouth, and he does have the power of the purse, and he does have a lot of money, and he's very well known. And Megyn Kelly lied when she said that she made Ben Shapiro. when he came on her show. That is an absolute outright lie. I met Ben Shapiro way before Megyn Kelly was on Fox News. Ben Shapiro used to be on the O'Reilly Factor. He used to be on Larry King. Ben Shapiro was discovered by Larry King when he was a young child born in California. He played the violin for Larry King. I still remember his email address, fromfiddle@aol.com, because I emailed him a couple times. And I met Ben Shapiro at Harvard University at his first year at Harvard Law at the Harvard Hillel. He didn't talk as fast as he does now, but he was already up. He was already like up and coming. Like he was already renowned. Megyn Kelly did not make him. Ben Shapiro made himself. And yes, there was controversy at Breitbart with Steve Bannon and Ben Shapiro. And I think because there was a lot of anti-Semitism, within the workings of Breitbart. And there was controversy between that reporter Michelle and the issue with her and Corey Lewandowski, and how Breitbart took the woman's side over Corey Lewandowski's side. There was a big controversy over that. But what did Ben Shapiro do? He took whatever money he had, which wasn't a lot because he lost a lot of money when he left Breitbart, and he formed the Daily Wire. And he has a huge, I wouldn't say office, but network in Nashville, and he has a home in Florida. I mean, the guy is like, he's close to being a billionaire. He's like a multimillionaire. But I've seen his progression from when he started and where he is today. So I know that knocks Ben Shapiro is dumb. They're very dumb. He's a very smart guy, and he says a lot of intelligent things. I did not like the fact he did not support President Trump. That was one thing that Ben and I differed on, was him being like a hardcore never Trumper. But he's come around. And he's called out Tucker Carlson, all these anti-Semites, and I applaud him for it. And I love Mark Levin. Like, Mark Levin is a fighter for the Jewish people, for Israel, for Americans. And he'll call out any grifter. Dan Bongino, he just called out Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, blatantly lied and said that the Israel had something to do with them investigating him, which was a complete lie. He went on Tucker Carlson and said it was a former CIA director that was trying to frame him. Why is Israel to blame every 5 seconds? Why is Marjorie Taylor Greene blaming Israel every 5 seconds? What's his name? Massey. Why are these people blaming Israel for everything? It's not helping the movement. It's not helping our party. That's why they are called grifters. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a failure. She decided to leave her position before the term was up because she's a loser and she knew she was going to lose re-election. And President Trump, didn't support her for Senate because he was smart. Because he's smart, he knows she was going to lose. She thinks she's so freaking popular. She's not. She doesn't know how to run a country. She can barely run her district, let alone run an entire state of Georgia. Yeah, President Trump said if I put her in charge, oh my God, it'd be horrible. And he's right. It would be horrible. We have to get back to our values. We have to get back to what we stand for, what we're all about. And people are like, oh, President Trump, he's all about Venezuela, not about Americans. What he did in Venezuela has to do with Americans. What happens overseas is very important. We don't want American troops killed. We don't want any Americans killed. So people need to wake the hell up. And they don't really understand America first at all. President Trump is doing everything he can to better our country, whether it's in trade, central intelligence, environment, agriculture, and so forth. And you have to work with foreign nations to get these things done. So he's not going to ignore our foreign leaders. That's stupid. That's dumb. And let me tell you something, he's not ignoring what's going on here at home either. But remember, whatever happens overseas affects America too. I've said that repeatedly. We've seen that. We've completely seen that. There's no denying that. You can't lie about it. It's the truth. So please, guys, before you point fingers, understand who the real enemy is. It's the communist, socialist, Marxist elitists. I've said this before. But if you are living in New York City under Mamdani, just keep your wits about you. There's nothing wrong with leaving if you can leave. If you can't leave, do everything you can to protect yourself. Because that Mamdani guy, he's just getting started. And what we've seen is really upsetting. I mean, he already got rid of all the executive orders that Eric Adams wrote in regards to supporting Israel and the Jewish people and the Jewish communities. He's getting rid of the 24/7 security in the Jewish communities. He's not allowing special aid and services for Jewish communities in New York City. It's really sad. He won't even define what anti-Semitism means, the definition. It's really sad. So please, guys, communism and socialism is real. Remember what President Trump said, we'll never be a communist nation. That's why, yes, Donald Willinger is correct. We have to be very careful who our next president is. Because if we put a socialist in as the president of the United States of America, we are all screwed forever. We won't be able to really go back from that. I mean, we had Biden in there, but he wasn't really in there. It was Obama doing all the dirty work. But if you put an AOC or Rashid Tlaib or Ilhan Omar or a Zohran Mandami in there as your president, I mean, you can't put Zohran and Ilhan Omar because they weren't born in this country. But I mean, any socialist, communist, hardcore white, left-wing moron, if you allow them to sneak into the cracks, once you get them in there, you can't get them out. And that's what's so important. So coming after the break, just to let you know, we do have my second affiliate sponsor, FoliumPX.org, or excuse me, FoliumPX.com. Toxic heavy metals, full body detox, free radical support. This also helps the immunity. This helps you lose weight. It helps you with stress. This is great for pregnancy as well, and post-pregnancy for you ladies out there. And it is a super antioxidant. All of the supplements are all super antioxidants. So please, guys, this is so good. Again, flu is on the rise. Every other person I know is getting the flu. It's very sad. And we hope that everybody gets better. Please pray for our friend Seth Eisenberg at the Conservative Corner. He's got a bad case of the flu. A lot of people have a bad case of the flu. Please pray for my father. He's sick all of a sudden. So please, guys, you have to take your antioxidants. Very important. You have to take your minerals, your vitamins. It's very important. So please, guys, go to FoliumPX.com. Click on that link. On that QR code, you will get a discount for any super antioxidant supplements that you want to take. Please, guys, don't forget again to like and subscribe to our show at America's Pulse Network on Rumble, on YouTube, on X, on Parler, on TikTok, on True Social, on Instagram, and now Facebook. And we will be right back after the break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the America's Pulse Network. I am your host, Alexandra Levine, on Alexandra Levine Live. Going into segment 3, other breaking news. Governor Tim Walz decides to step down and he won't seek re-election. But he had a weird, there we go. Governor Tim Walz won't seek re-election as fraud scandal shakes the state of Minnesota. There's a huge, as you know, Medicare fraud scandal with the Somalis is $1 billion scandal. And Medicare fraud and Medicaid fraud is very in right now, meaning a lot of people have committed that crime. It is a crime. If found guilty, you go to jail for 15 years to life, or sometimes 25 years to life, depending on how serious it is. And Governor Tim Walz, he's, quote, stepping down because he feels that if he runs for re-election, it will, the Medicaid, or excuse me, the Medicare fraud case against him is going to affect his whole re-election campaign. So he's going to step down and try to figure out how he can get himself out of jail. But hopefully he will be found guilty. He will go to jail because people like that do not deserve to walk free. They really don't. But he had a weird press conference yesterday, saying that I'm not leaving, I'm not resigning. If you call, if you push me to resign over my dead body, I'm going to continue doing the work for the Minnesotans, and we will hold people accountable. Well, what about you, moron? Why don't you hold yourself accountable? And who's calling for you to resign? Why are you already assuming that we're making calls for you to resign? Now, he should resign, in my opinion, but nobody's called for him to resign. And people are saying if he were to run for reelection, he would lose. Now, I honestly don't think the Republican is going to win in the state of Minnesota. There's so much election fraud there and so forth. And they have so many illegals that vote there. But I mean, Tim Walz has done such havoc on the state of Minnesota. I mean, we literally watched the city of Minneapolis burn down to the ground because of George Floyd. I mean, this is just insane. And now they're saying, well, maybe Ms. Klobuchar, will come in and take over and be the governor because she's more modern, she's more popular, and somebody will take her Senate seat. But it's very asinine. It's very asinine that this man has the audacity to say we need to hold people accountable when he is the main culprit for all of this. Him and all the Somalis that live in Minnesota, including Ilhan Omar, including the guy who ran for mayor of Minneapolis, and the guy's name, Jacob Frey. I think he's a mayor as well. And what's his name? Keith Ellison, who's the attorney general, who's a part of the Nation of Islam with Louis Farrakhan. I mean, there's a lot of corruption that is going on in the state of Minnesota and the city of Minneapolis and so forth, and where Ilhan Omar lives. So we need to hold these people accountable. And Pam Bondi and Kristi Noem will hold these people accountable, and so will Donald Trump. But again, this is a $1 billion Medicare fraud business with the Somalis. The Somalis have stolen billions of dollars from the American people of Minnesota, and it's not fair and it's not right. And if you are a constituent of Tim Walz, you should be in an uproar. You should demand your money back. You should demand that he goes to jail. You should sue the government as much as you can and cause a stink. You should not be sitting back and relaxed and watching this crap. You should be taking action and doing something against this. These people cannot get away with this crap. And then breaking news tonight, Gavin Newsom, the governor of California, he's in a massive fraud case. He's committed massive fraud in California. Kristi Noem just put it out right now as we were on live that Governor Newsom is going to be investigated for the crimes that he's committed, for the massive fraud that he has done to Californians. And again, there's a lot of illegals that live in California that do these jobs, that do these massive Medicare and Medicaid fraud schemes. Dr. Oz actually was on Laura Ingraham tonight exposing all of the Medicaid and Medicare fraud that's in the state of Minnesota and beyond. I know Pam Bondi is cleaning house, especially in the state of Florida and other states, for people that have committed Medicare and Medicaid fraud. Now, in the state of Minnesota, there was a big Medicare case where this couple, they were in jail, and then all of a sudden the judge reversed the guilty verdict, and now they're out scot-free, and they committed mass amounts of Medicare fraud. Medicare fraud is a big business. Medicare fraud is an in thing for some people, and they should not be held accountable. And yeah, at Real Donald Trump, he said California under Governor Gavin Newsom is more corrupt than Minnesota, if that's possible. The fraud investigation in California has begun. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And yeah, let's put up the third slide about the reporter. So this journalist, Truth Under Fire, independent journalist Nick Shirley says he's now become a target from the political left for putting a spotlight on the alleged fraud that has taken place in Minnesota. Quote, it's just a moment where they could have really been like, okay, you guys, let's come together. Let's tell everyone fraud is bad. Let's crack down on the fraud. Instead, they come after the man who's exposing the fraud, the Riley Gaines show. That's sick. This reporter is exposing the fraud and people are coming after him. Yeah, because they know that they committed the fraud. They know it. And Governor Westmore in Maryland, he's got plans for Tim Walz. Let's put up that slide. I shifted to the last slide. Let's put up the slide with Westmore and Governor Walz. There we go. Westmore says to Tim Walz, inspired by my friend and fellow veteran Tim Walz's compassionate leadership, he's ready to serve as our next vice president. We've got your back, coach. Our next vice president, what the hell? And that was in August 22 of 2024. So Westmore is supporting this fraudster. This fraud business has been going on for years while Governor Walz was running for vice president. I mean, this is disgusting. The whole thing makes me sick. And again, if you live in Minnesota, if you live in California, you should be up in arms about this. Massive fraud across the board. These liberal governors think that they can get away with it. Guess what? They can't. We have a new sheriff in town. We got a new administration in town that is cracking down on it, and they're not going to allow these scumbag governors to get away with it. They're not going to allow Governor Westmore to get away with it. Tim Walz, Gavin Newsom. Let's just keep going down the liberal governor line. Josh Shapiro, he's corrupt. He said boo. He said nothing about this. He's been silent. He's a corrupt governor too. They're all corrupt. These left-wing Democrat lunatic, whatchamacallit, governors. They're lunatics. Crazy, just crazy. And it's asinine to me. It's asinine to me why they allow this to continue. And like I said, I have full faith in the Trump administration. They will get to the bottom of this and get rid of these morons. Because if not, then they'll just keep doing it over and over and over and over again. And it's very, very, very bad. It's very, very bad. Well, before we leave, because we only have a couple minutes left and the time for me has come to an end, I just want to remind people of the people that we support and endorse on this network. So we have my good friend Tim Fazenbaker, who's running for Baltimore County Council District 9. He's having a huge event, with Newsmax podcaster Rob Carson, Saturday, January 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. Please come, guys, purchase your tickets on that QR code. Use that QR code. You get a little bit of a discount. And everybody's coming to me. A sold-out event at the Bayside Grill, which is where he had his first event in Dundalk. This is Tim's to win. Everybody knows Tim is going to win this district. He even has moderate Democrats calling him saying, hey, we want to help out because we know you're going to win. His opponent is a huge rhino/left-wing Democrat who supports Pete Buttigieg for president. So we can't have that in Dundalk, Essex, and Edgemere. So please, guys, go to timfazenbaker.com, make a donation, look up that event, click on that event, get your tickets now. And of course, we endorse and support my friend Kimberly Stansberry for Baltimore County Executive. She's awesome. She's kicking butt. She'll be at the event with Tim speaking. Go to electkimstansberry.org. That's www.electkimstansberry.org and make a donation to her campaign today. And of course, we have our friend Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner. We're always doing a campaign with him. Again, Seth Eisenberg almost lost his foot twice. So we are doing a huge campaign for him. So please go to GoFundMe.com/Jonah/Eisenberg/overcome a financial health crisis. We've already raised over $6,400 for him. The goal is $10,000. The final goal is $100K. We need to get him back in shape. Now he's got the flu. He's out of work. So we really need to help him, help his son Ryan, help his family, because he's got bills to pay and he's a veteran. He served our nation in the Navy. We have to get back to our veterans. It's very, very important. And again, I just want to thank everyone who came on my show tonight, who commented. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to the America's Pulse Network. And again, to Alexandra Levine Live. You can find us on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook now, X, Parler, True Social, Instagram. We're on all the major platforms. And don't forget this Sunday, hopefully, God willing, Seth will be okay. But we'll let you know. But he's always on the show, whether he's in a hospital or not. But his show is every Sunday night from 7 to 8:30 p.m. The Conservative Corner with Seth Eisenberg. And of course, we have Damon Galdo with the Jersey Shore every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. and every Friday night from 8 to 9 p.m. And of course, there's always me, Alexandra Levine, every Tuesday from 8 to 9 p.m. and Thursdays 8 to 9 p.m. with, of course, we have The Pulse. Don't forget to watch The Pulse tomorrow night from 8 to 9:30. It is a panel of 5. Usually we have 2 special guests. Damon Galdo will be hosting. I will not be on tomorrow night because I'm going to a special event with Vivek Ramaswamy, who is running for governor of Ohio. So I will keep you guys posted on that event. I will be going to a lot of political events because we are in what we call political campaign season mode. So you will see me at a lot of different campaign events in 2026. But we are doing so great on this network. I appreciate everybody for liking and subscribing and following. Don't forget to like me, Alexandra Levine, on Facebook at Alexandra Levi20, on X at AirLevine85, on Rumble, on Twitter, X, on True Social, on Parler, on TikTok, on Instagram, on all over the place. You can find me everywhere. And thank you guys so much. This has been a great hour. And the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
Thank you for watching this episode of Alexandra Levine Live. So please click subscribe and then share on your favorite social medias. This way you will get notified of each upcoming episode. We look forward to hearing from you on upcoming episodes.